Welcome back. I'm super excited that we have finally finished this huge theory block right now. For now on, we will do lots of hands-on exercises, and we start with our setup to reverse engineer Android applications. Therefore, we take this classes.dex file and we will reconstruct the Java source code out of this. And how this works, I'm going to show you right now. Here we have our game APK, and the first thing we need to do is we need to get the classes.dex file. Do you still remember if we have to use unzip or the APK tool to get this file? I'm pretty sure you do. In this case, it's unzip. If we unzip an APK, we will get this classes.dex file. If we use the APK tool, we take this classes.dex file and we will decompile this into those single smiley class files. Therefore, this isn't really helpful for us right now. Alright, now that we have this classes.dex file, we use a tool named Dex2Jar. And what Dex2Jar does is, it takes the bytecode which is stored in this file and it will reconstruct the Java source code out of this. So by providing this classes.dex file to Dex2Jar, we will get this classes.jar, and this is a jar archive that contains the complete Java source code in one single jar. But Dex2Jar is not able to get the original source code out of this. It's more like an interpretation of the original source code, but it's so close to the original one that we can use this easily for our reverse engineering approach. Now we've got our jar archive that contains all of our Java classes. We now use JDGUI to open those, and with JDGUI we can easily browse through all of them and look for interesting things. For example, in our case of the space ping application, the player lives, the shield, how is the alien collision working, and all this kind of stuff. On a real world application, you could look for secrets, certificate pinning, anti-routing detection, RP endpoints, and all this stuff. Okay? One last thing I want to mention right here is, please stick to the exact version numbers and binaries I recommend you in this course. Because I have designed this course to work on Android applications up to 11, which is the most up-to-date version right now. And during my preparation, I faced a lot of problems with the common toolset for Android application version 11. So I spent a lot of time figuring out how to sign an application for Android 11, how we can decompile and reconstruct the source code, and all the other things. Therefore, you do not have to figure it out by yourself to go all through the pain to get your tooling working back again. I did this for you, and this is why you have purchased this course. So please stick to the recommendations and then you are fine. So this saves a lot of time for you. Okay, we now start with the installation of JDGUI in Dex2Jar, and there we will also have our first variation regarding to the common toolset. So let me switch to my Ubuntu VM for this. Okay, here we are now at our Ubuntu VM. Let's download Dex2Jar. But we cannot use the original repository because this one is not working for Android 8 and higher. Therefore we have to use a fork of this one. And this one is provided by Lanchon or Lanchon. I'm not sure about the correct pronunciation. So let me show this to you. I'm opening the web browser and I type in Dex2Jar and Lanchon, I'm not sure. And here we have the fork from the original author, and also thanks to the original author for providing this really amazing tool. In this case, if we click on Dex2Jar and if we go under releases, we can see this supports Dex version 0.35. We have seen this in the classes.dex file header up to 3.8, which is Android 8. But I've also tested this for Android application 11. I've created an own application which only works for Android 11 devices, and I tested all this tooling against this app. And there I figured out, wow, a lot of things has changed, and therefore I provide you now everything that works up to this version, which is the most up-to-date nowadays. Alright, now let's download this one right here. Now we've got the zip archive, and we say extract, and we go into our tools directory. We create a new one and we name this Dex2Jar. And we click extract, show files. And I really hate when this happens, so I copy, paste this out and move one directory up and delete this one. This is not a nice way, but it's fine, I guess. Alright, by the way, if you want to download this Android 11 application, I have attached this to the files in this section right now. Okay, now let's open a terminal and see what we've got here. Here we can see we've got a bunch of sh and bud scripts. Bud is for the Windows operating system and sh is for the Linux operating system. These are green because these are being flagged as executable. We also have a bin and a lib directory and some information. Okay, before we run the script, we have a quick look into this, because you should always check unknown code that you're going to run on your operating system. And therefore, I cut this file out. And here we've got a banner and we can see some bash information over there. This looks good so far. And here we can see, okay, afterwards it goes into the lib directory and executes those jar files. So let's have a quick look into those lib directory. Okay, and here we have this jar files and okay. You can do, of course, a further investigation, but for me it looks okay and I will run the script right now. So let's see if it's working. Oops. And we can see the script is working, great. Okay, now we create an alias for the script because we do not want to provide the whole directory path all the time when we want to start the script. Therefore I get the directory and I copy paste it down here, and then I take the file name and check if I provided the correct path to this. So if we want to start the script, we have to provide the full path if we are not in the terminal or in the directory right here. And this one is way too complicated, so we create a short alias, which is a reference for this whole command. Therefore, we just have to remember the short alias name. And I'm doing this in my ZSHRC over there. And here I create a new alias and I name this Dex2Jar. And I provide this whole path over there. Okay, in case if you're not familiar with Vim, this is absolutely no problem. And I do not recommend Vim if you're not familiar with this, because you will face a lot of problems. And this is absolutely fine because everyone else also has those problems when, the person did start with Vim. Okay? So one fun fact about this, I guess the most viewed or rated question on Stack Overflow for a while was how to leave Vim. Therefore, you see, you are definitely not alone if you have struggled or if you struggle with Vim. Okay, in case you do not want to use Vim, you can use gedit, for example. And therefore, you can simply open this file and you have a graphic text editor over here. And in case you do not use the ZSH shell, you have to provide this alias name to your bash rc. I'm going to show you this right now. Okay, here we create a new alias name, Dex2Jar. And please do not use spaces. Oops, sorry. Let me fix this first. Okay, now I can talk. Please do not use spaces over here because this will mess up your bash rc. So this is unfortunately not working. You have to remove them. Okay, after providing this, we can run Dex2Jar. Now we get a command not found, and the reason for this is the bash rc and the ZSH rc are going to be loaded when the terminal has been started. So only at this moment this file gets loaded or refreshed. We can open a new one and type in Dex2Jar. This will work. But if you do not want to create always a new terminal, you can also refresh this environment with the source command. So by providing source on your ZSHRC, you are refreshing this environment for this terminal you are using right now. And now we can use Dex2Jar also here. So for example, on the home directory, it's also working right now. Great, Dex2Jar is working. Let's start decompiling this classes.dex file. So I go into apps, spacepan, and here we have this classes.dex file. Now I do a right click, open in terminal, and I say Dex2Jar classes.dex. And here we can see it's now reconstructing this Java source code out of this classes.dex file. And here we have now our jar archive that contains the whole source code of this classes.dex in a Java code format. Nice! Now to view this file, we have to install JDGUI. And therefore we go again into the internet and we type in JDGUI, decompiler, and we use this one over there. So this is the original version. It's absolutely fine. Now we get a warning if you want to keep this file because it's a binary and it can damage our system. I say keep because I trust this one. Okay. And if we want to start this one, we have to provide java-jar and then JDGUI and this jar archive. Okay, we can see it's working. Okay, I now put this JDGUI into a tools directory and also provide an alias name for this, like we have done this for the Dex2Jar, just to have a clean setup. All right, now we are back. So I go into the directory, space pane, and now we open this file with JDGUI. And yes, it's working. Here we have our Java source code, all those package names, and we can see, for example, within services or systems, alien behavior system, here we've got now the Java code, which has been recompiled. We can also see here, for example, there has been some troubles, so it could not be decompiled on this point, and therefore we can also not, copy paste this Java code into a new project because we will end up with tons of error. But for reverse engineering this is absolutely fine. This part, by the way, is some Smali part, and later on we will be able to understand this one. So even if we do not have the Java code over there, we can read this later on in this course, which is super amazing. Alright, that's all for this video right now. We have successfully set up our JDGUI and Dex2Jar, and we can now recompile this classes.dex file to get our Java source code back again. It's not the original one, but it's pretty close to this.